Boom! We're gonna see Y2K.
Y2K.
I'm actually looking forward to this one.
This looks like a lot of fun.
It does. It looks like a lot of fun. I love Kyle Mooney. He's like the writer and director of this movie. He's SNL guy.
This is corny.
It looks stupid.
This is gonna be ridiculous. This is. It feels like.
Let me down. I'll get knocked out. It looks like it's gonna be the movie.
Yeah,
the trailer had that song in it like 5 times.
It was a lot. They were really hammering it home on that one.
It looks good though. I don't know.
This is gonna be good, dumb, fun. A lot of deaths for comedy's sake, probably.
My favorite part is gonna be the 90s because that's my favorite time of all.
Sure.
From like 94 to 2000.
Yeah, I'd say that was a magical time.
It was.
It was.
Everything after that, music and everything after that, just kind of to me. I'm older.
Innovation just stopped happening.
So I'm hoping there's I'm hoping there's a bunch of 90s shit, so I can just feel super nostalgic.
Yep.
It's only an hour and a half, so it's super short. It's 91 minutes.
Oh, that is really nice and lean. Ooh.
I hope it's lean for lean's sake.
The trailer for this really got me.
I was like, immediately.
We lived through the Y2K thing, guys. So
it was a special night because back then we were experimenting with drugs.
Yep.
And it was like 6 of us.
It was a snowy night.
Tripping mescaline.
Yeah.
And we had 2 giant bags of baby carrots.
That's all we had to eat. We were just snacking.
So the whole thing, we're just walking around town like, whoa, holy shit. And all I remember the whole night
dude,
and then we fucking, at the end of the night, it was like 5 a.m.
We're talking a bag of carrots, guys.
Big bags
this
of baby
big. We're all just like,
carrots.
give me more. We're so dumb.
I don't know why.
But awesome.
I don't know why we had those, but anyway.
So we stayed up till...
It was like 5 or 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
We spelt Y2 carrot in the snow with carrots. Yep. That's how many carrots we had.
Where we were at, guys.
And then I remember we're looking up and the whole sky was red in the morning. And I was like, oh no,
really weird.
It's really happening. Y2K, we're going to
die. The end of the world. It's upon us.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to watching this. I hope it's a good ride. And I
can't, it's funny the whole Y2K thing that didn't happen, I remember being in high school and the special math teacher came in. He was probably just a sub.
It was like 1998 we're already talking about Y2K.
Yeah, but I remember whatever year it was, but he was like explaining how everything's gonna go down, and he like tried to convince my entire classroom, that
we're all gonna die.
Well, no, just everything's gonna shut down, so get your food, stock up on this, and I'm like, what are we talking about?
It was crazy that time.
It was. We were
and then nothing happened at all.
And then it just went. I think everything just went to zero, right?
Yeah.
It just reset.
But anyway, I already ordered a pizza and got tickets. So we're good.
Okay, cool.
I didn't get a large though. I probably should have.
I should have helped pay for something.
Oh, that's all good. You can buy me a water.
I'll buy him a water, guys.
Perfect. Woo! You know what's awesome about Hinckley Grand Cinema that we always meet at?
Everything.
Is for 2 tickets and a 10-inch pizza, it was like 30 even.
That's amazing.
Which is really good.
Shout out.
Yeah,
Once again, we do this all the time.
And then we buy a water and they only charge like $2.50.
It's not $8.
Go to AMC, it's like $7 something.
They just bend you over and make you call and shout my name.
I get
AMC.
I get knocked down. And they fuck me in the ass again.
They're always gonna keep me down. All right, guys. With that, we will see you sometime later.
Yep. Boom! Saw Y2K.
We did. Boy, was that was the movie starts out straight up like throwing all these cultural references down your throat for the first montage of the beginning,
and then it just nothing after that.
Yeah, they just make sure you know what time period it is.
I'm gonna say I'm a little disappointed.
I am.
The first half was really good.
It was.
And then it was a snail's crawl till the end.
What the fuck, dude? What the fuck? There are a couple low-key laughing moments that are,
I
good.
laughed consistently throughout.
Yeah,
but the movie itself wasn't very good.
It slowed way the fuck down in huge chunks. And so the beginning is really fast-paced.
But I stay there.
and I never get up again.
Never get up again. That's kind of what happened. It was way up here, and then it was like, bam. Instantly, the momentum just died, and then it just stayed there till the end.
The jokes they weren't pulling enough weight to recover.
It was right after dude dies on roller skates. That was
the magic moment. Yeah.
The rest of the whole beginning of the movie, like the first half, was really good.
You know, it really, because we were that age about when that shit happened. So. You know, going to parties and doing crazy things, and I want to meet the girl, and that's all every kid goes through that. So it's super relatable. You have all your cliques of kids there and everything, like skaters and jocks, and they're all at the same house party. It's crazy. It's a lot of people, and shit goes south really quickly, and it's surprisingly gory in some spots. You're like, oh fuck, there's brain goop and
and
wow,
people's heads getting chopped off, their arms getting chopped off.
It's nuts. Dude's getting
he has a blender on his dick.
He's like,
The thing is, that's not even possible.
No,
when I was
his
looking,
dick was like 8 feet long.
He had to have like a 2-foot long dick.
Yeah, whatever. It was
funny.
So that's all comical and very gross. And then they have to
in a good way. It's like
It's fun. It's slapstick and
pretty stupid.
Yeah, it's corny,
on purpose,
but it's like
it's not taking itself seriously.
It's like what you want. That's what we came for.
Yeah,
that's literally what sold me on what this movie was going to be.
And that ends at halfway, and they're wandering through the woods, and only like one more death, maybe.
It becomes this commentary on. You know, it turns into a poor rendition of the Breakfast Club because there's like groups of survivors are like a little bit, you know, from different groups of kids.
You're
and
the popular one. I'm a freak. And
they talk about it, and you're
a nerd, and
music is really heavy into this, and they're like the philosophy of music, which kind of does define all those groups. Yeah, that's the kind of the medium of how this band isn't in this, and like and then they start trying to like, and hip hop was such a big thing where everyone was trying to rap. You know what?
And
so they have rap battles and shit. It's like,
I didn't want there to be rap battles.
It sucked.
That did kind of suck.
That part sucked
because they were just bad raps too.
They were terrible.
Physical discipline.
Fucking just trying. Like it really is super pretentious. Like trying to
totally.
Yeah. So. Yeah. That carries on for a very long time, and
it keeps coming back.
Yeah, they just keep recycling.
And then Fred Durst shows up and all this stuff.
He does, and then it becomes like, is this him trying to like restart his career or something? I don't know, because like I think
they play a full song of his at the end. And
they do.
Like it's not at the end; it's like during the climax.
During the climax, he gives a speech with like his guitar playing "Little Buddy," and then like, or whatever, and then they sing a song because everyone's like, "Fuck you! Nobody cares about you."
Fuck you, Fred Durst. That's
super.
That's funny because that's how I felt in high school. I was like, "Fuck Limp Bizkit."
Yeah, for sure. But like. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway,
that's why seeing Fred Durst, I was like, "Oh no!" Like,
man, you look like shit. They say right there. Like he makes fun of himself the whole time.
Did. That was good.
I think that was brilliant. That he's just self-deprecating.
He was on board. Time. Yeah,
he was on board with it. Yeah. So
he's playing ball.
But like, there's so much downtime talking and dumb stuff. I want to see more. Like of that. Out.
This would be like an hour and 10 minutes, or no, probably less
than that, like 45 minutes. Honestly, if you cut out all of that fucking deep talk,
the jock,
and like I really like you, and third act breakup, and
there was like a third act breakup that was so dumb.
Yeah, it was.
It's the girl of his dreams, and then he's like, you know, you never would ever hang out with a guy like me.
That's the movie. That's like the emotional fucking.
She was into him because he like saved her. Yeah, and she was into him, and then he's like, "No, you'd never."
Well, because he sees her with his like her ex and whatever, and not listening long enough to find out that she's like, "I can't go back."
He sees her with her ex, and he's like, "I don't want to be with you."
Yeah.
But then he's like, I guess they're getting back together, and he walks away.
Yeah, and then he gets all pissed.
Anyway, we're spoiling shit.
Who cares? Like, this movie doesn't have a plot, really. I will say this. Okay,
the trailer says it all.
So, the creativity of the attack robots or whatever the fuck is actually pretty high up there. I thought a lot of it was comically. It's corny.
It's so practical. You can tell it's just dudes in suits.
Well, that, but like some of the there was some CGI.
Yeah,
and there was a few.
It's like stop motion shit too.
Yeah, like where it's too small for a person to be in or whatever. So it is animatronically some of that stuff in there. But they'll be like it's just household appliances slapped together and weird shit and like
they like Transformer bots,
reverse photography where it was like these wires reaching out and grabbing some like and that's reverse like photography, but it looked good. It had good practical effects.
I'm gonna say that most of the movie was shot well.
It was.
There's a lot of good comedic timing.
Yes, there is.
There's a shit.
Without that, I would have been fuck this. Like they needed to have those punchy.
Like I said, I laughed consistently throughout the whole movie.
Yeah,
but it wasn't a good movie.
It was not a good movie.
Even on the slow parts, there was always because everyone's ripping on each other all the time. Yeah, which I liked. It was
because they're different.
It reminded me of like being that age.
Yeah, exactly.
In the late 90s.
In the 90s and stuff. There are a lot of crazy...
calling each other pussy all the time, you know?
Yeah.
Like, shut up, pussy. Like...
it's ridiculous. Some of the deaths are so ridiculous in their own, like the dude with the
batons.
Well, that was just... I mean, that... We should almost get into spoilers before we even talk about some of these deaths, because some of them are really actually kind of good and funny. And
there's a part where they get up, they're like, all right, we're going to this factory that's closed down.
Forget it. We'll just...
And this guy...
Not worry about it. He's like, we need transportation, so like they all grab something.
A bike, a skateboard,
skateboards, rollerblades.
Yeah, and they come out of the garage, and he looks, and there's a knockdown basketball hoop. He's like,
one of the
sick.
Portable ones.
He's like, sick. Like goes to grind it.
I'm gonna watch this.
And then Limp Bizkit comes on. It's just one of those days. And then he just immediately dies.
He goes off it, slips, and bam, head on the ground.
Rocks his head and dies.
How he dies. Now this guy was the biggest asshole in the fucking movie. Just talking shit about everyone, picking on people, pushing people, and then that's how he dies.
I know, like a bitch. The funny thing is,
which is kind of funny.
I could tell how the writing was.
Yeah.
So the three main characters that live, right? They each have a loss. They're like, oh no, it's my best friend.
Yeah.
Within like 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
So I thought that was funny. The fact that it's like, and then that one guy dies as a bitch, and that was like girl's like best friend.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was just, you could tell he wrote it that way on purpose.
Yep.
Like,
there's a trifecta of like hilarity in there.
Let's just get the loss out of the way, so they all three have loss,
and then they can all bond and then move on.
And then CD head. The guy who gets nailed, he gets stabbed. He's the worst character. But I was hoping that the rest of the movie, he'd be alive and just have CDs sticking out of his head. That would have been amazing.
There's no way.
Missed opportunity.
That plastic would go through a skull. But if it was stuck in his flesh and he's like, hey guys, can you help me here?
That one
was wobbling around all the time. That would have been
one girl got killed by a VHS tape.
Yes.
And he ejects it out.
Well, no, she gets knocked out.
She probably died.
Then, because she's like, and it was just a big red mark on her head.
Yeah, but then
she's laying around all these dead bodies.
Such a weird movie.
Such a goofy movie.
Well, what are you gonna rate it? Because I'm between 6 and 7.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I laughed a lot. I had fun.
Yeah.
It's just the middle is so. There's a big, huge
it's
lull.
Not what I came to see. It fell apart immediately after, like you said.
I think it's a little above average because, like I said,
I'm gonna give it a 6.
6?
Yeah, I am almost at 5 territory because it's social commentary that is unnecessary.
Yeah, it's the 90s.
Right, but I guess I lived it, so I already know all about it. But my point is that you didn't have to wrap it into the story is more about that shit than robots taking over, which is kind of annoying. They focus more on that than the problem at hand. Right?
Yeah.
The social headbutting and all that.
I know. I kind of was expecting that from the trailer.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll tell you this. Danny, the big overweight kid, kills it.
Yeah, he's the
funny. Best character in the whole movie. He dies at a third.
Oh, by the way.
What's
rating?
My rating. Shit.
Before we get ahead, because you just...
I think 7. I think it was really clever.
Okay.
Because almost all the points go to the first half. Spoilers.
Truly, it's so
But
true.
it's so good. I was so into the first half of this movie. I was like, fucking right. This is fucking hilarious.
They're busting out
It
all these
reminded me-
90s songs. I was like, oh yeah, I remember that
reminded me
shit being on the radio.
of all the
the
parties
time.
and shit I went
Yes,
to.
it did. It felt like that. That
Yeah,
was the best part.
It was awesome. And then
Huge house parties.
yeah, and then basically it just fucking they're in the woods the rest of the time.
Running.
And then at the gym. And did you notice how low fucking budget this seemed? They're like, we got the whole town in the gymnasium of the high school, and they're assimilating them.
Yeah.
How many extras do you think there were? 30? That's the whole town?
It's hard to say.
It would only show 20.
Less,
it would only show like 20, 25 people in a shot.
It's cheap.
And then it'd show like the other. I don't know. It seemed the gymnasium scene seemed so low budget and like they were running out of money or something because it just seemed so shitty at the very end.
There is, I when they get into the gymnasium and they see the mother computer thing.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. I was like, "Whoa, somebody built that set. That's a really huge
practical,
fucking
real set,
like all these wires and TV screens and arms moving around, right?" And like they take human. Oh my god, the robot's attitude in this. Mm-hmm. He's like, "Suck it," and like saying weird shit. Like he's talks like a foul mouthed teenager.
He's like,
"Oh, you about to get laid? Yeah, hey buddy,
get fucked."
Yeah, it's just like. It was weird, you know, like Lawnmower Man, or no, Max Headroom, but like a foul-mouthed asshole.
Like I said before, like to me, it's really cleverly written.
Yeah.
And it seems like what people would say to each other, like, fuck you.
All the dialogue was completely normal.
I liked it.
Felt really genuine.
It's the third act breakup shit in the middle.
Yeah.
Once they find like this factory where they're like, oh, it's a commune. And then it just slows to a crawl.
That part was just
like fucking
like
and it's funny. It was a 91-minute movie. How long did that feel? It felt like 2.5 hours.
It felt like at least 2 hours.
2 hours. It just felt so draggy because that one chunk, man.
Nothing happening but people expressing their emotions and trying to reconcile their hatred for each other.
Yeah.
And then it ends with Fred Durst being a fucking senator and shit like this.
Right.
After. Like, it gets really fucking...
Durst Industries. Like, I'm a hacker.
I'm gonna go hack for Durst Industries because he like, apparently, he didn't do anything.
He did.
He just sang a song at the end with his little buddy. That's all that happened.
Yeah.
It's not even like, what the fuck? I don't know.
I don't know either.
It's so over the top.
I'm gonna get some air
that
here.
it's semi... Like, I like it in certain areas when they push it too far or, like, past the boundary that you think they can go. But, like, whole other parts were not elevated to that level, and I felt like
I'll give you that.
It suffered, like, pretty immensely on
yeah,
huge parts.
it did.
I will say, though, there's parts in this that are pretty charming. Like, they're running from a giant robot, and they all hide in a fucking...
In a porta-john.
John, and it knocks the thing over, and they go sliding down the hill, and there's shit water splashing
that's
up.
That's the romantic. That's what I'm saying.
The romantic
it's really
part.
Funny.
He's like they're like hanging
laying
on,
down, holding hands, and then all this shit water comes
into
in
each
their
other's eyes, and he's like trying to block it from her face, but like staring into her eyes, and it's just like. And
like I said, there's a million little gems like that.
That's the only thing that this. Keeps the movie like above a 5.
But then there's the you didn't like me. You never would like me.
Yeah.
I'm a popular. I didn't mean to be popular. It just happened. The
dialogue about it was good.
It's good, but it's just like
it's not.
It's boring. It doesn't add anything to anything.
That's the problem. It
didn't add anything.
Are we trying to add to
it.
these characters that mostly we don't like? Because
I actually liked everyone except for that girl. She was just a bitch.
Yeah.
Not the main character.
No.
The Limp Bizkit loving one.
Yeah. It's like, but like, well, okay. So those are like the other dude. He sucked. The other rapper who the pretender.
I hate that dude.
The main character is just a dud. Like, he gets called that repeatedly, and it's actually, like, he's supposed to be that way, but,
they call him Piss Mouth for half the movie because
his best friend
tells a story at the party, like, yeah, one time I just wanted to see, I pissed in his Coke.
Just a little bit.
Just to see if he would drink it.
If he'd taste it. And they start calling him Piss Mouth for the rest of the movie, or, like,
the party until the party's over.
But, I don't know, man. I mean, I had a lot higher hopes. I was hoping for like an 8 or.
I was too.
Because here's the thing, it stopped feeling like the 90s at a certain point. It just didn't.
Right after that party.
Right after the party, there was no references. Like, it could have been in any time period. You don't see any vehicles to date it.
You kind of do.
Not where? When?
At the very end, it's like a 2004.
But like,
because it ends in 2005.
Yeah, which is really weird. Like 5 years later.
Unnecessary.
After the
it's got Alicia Silverstone from
she's in it.
From Clueless.
She plays the main character's mom.
Yeah,
and she's pretty cool.
She's weird. She smokes a bunch.
There's
a lot of weed smoking in this.
There's a good amount of drug use. You could say, but it's mostly pot.
Yeah.
Pot is like the big drug of
I
choice.
liked Kyle Mooney's character, like the director.
Yeah, man. All the time, just doing this like
the most hippie thing. But his lines were hilarious.
Oh, they were ridiculous.
And then he just dies horribly. He's
I used to own one of those. What do you call those pullovers?
A poncho.
Yeah.
And he comes over. I had one too.
They're not, but they are.
Fucking whatever that's called.
Yeah.
He goes to kill or attack this robot and it chops his arm off.
He has this standoff, guys, where he's like, he has a whole bit. What was that?
Mushrooms.
Yeah. So he's like,
he goes,
they're all behind the robot, and then he's over here. So the robot's here, they're here, and he's here, and he's like staring it down. And he's like, he busts out his bag.
It's like a spinach, and he eats a bunch of mushrooms.
And then he's like, with these, what do you call it? Stick twirling?
Yeah.
And he can't do it, so he's like, oh shit. And then he's like, okay, wow, we're gonna kill you. And then,
and his arm gets chopped off. Immediately, he looks and he goes, "Oh man, I don't like that."
I don't like that.
And then his head gets chopped off.
It turns around, and his head just.
And he's actually a pretty big part of this movie. He dies.
Yeah. Well, he didn't do anything.
No, not really, but he's in it a bunch.
He's comic relief, and and he's levity,
and he just got murdered.
Yeah,
I was so bummed that Danny got murdered. He was the best.
Really early in the movie,
like a third in or somewhere.
I was like,
maybe close to half.
Dynamic duo. They're gonna go through a bunch of crazy, horrible shit, and then he just gets. Yeah.
That's kind of where it kind of got ruined because he was the funnest, best part. He's like an Australian.
He's always pushing the main character to be like, quit being like
a pussy.
Yeah, quit being like, you gotta stop thinking like this, man.
Yeah.
Just go out there and go be. Yeah. Do you? Don't worry about what other people are thinking about.
I thought he'd show up at the end or something because he didn't get it through the heart. He just,
he did show up at the end.
No, yeah, in the tombstone.
In a rap video or in
some music video,
some weird created cyberspace rap video where he's dancing with a bunch of AI models, and
it was weird. It's a weird ending. Yeah.
It is, and it ends on a suspenseful note, as if there might be a second one. I hope
sucks.
not.
I wanted to like this more, big time. It's a crying shame it didn't get do better.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like I don't really know what I was expecting out of that.
What could we have hoped for? Right? Like
I think more action or more anything.
I wanted it to be more of a day-to-day struggle of like, oh, this appliance versus that appliance. You know what I mean? Like just over, because most of the fun was seeing the creativity of how the different machines and appliances were murderlating people. Yeah. And if it was just them trying to get through the town, dealing with new contraption after new, that would have been way cooler than let's go hide in the hills and talk about our problems.
It was like, let's go hide in the hills and then let's like have emotional this and that. And
I don't care about that. Like for this type of movie, that's not what people want to see.
I'm going to say, let's see, 4 or 5. I bet you only 7, 8 people actually get killed.
It only.
It's for rated R slasher movie.
They're all right in the beginning.
Well, yeah, all but like 2.
And they show deaths that you see. It's more like because they show up.
You see dead bodies everywhere. But the ones that you actually see, like the drill go, or the guy's face get burnt off, or the guy's head go in the microwave.
Yep.
The guy gets his dick in the blender. That's like 4.
Fan blade.
Yeah.
So where he's starting to
drill in the head.
We drill through the door, through his chest.
Dude, Danny. And then dude dies from fucking falling on the fucking basketball hoop.
Yeah, that's not a kill.
I know, but it's still whatever.
Sure.
And then it's like fucking Kyle Mooney's character and then CD head.
So that's what, 10? 10. About 10 deaths in this.
And most of them are right in the very beginning.
Yep, and it sets the pace where you're like, oh, this is getting.
I thought it's gonna be
because like
just getting
leading
up
to that, I was like, oh man, I kind of miss the 90s a little bit, and then shit goes south, and I'm like, yeah, and then it's like, we're done here?
And then we're just done for fucking 40 minutes until and the climax isn't a climax.
No.
Nothing fucking happens. It's all about her trying to get this smart drive into a computer.
Yeah.
That's it.
Which was the...
And while Fred Durst sings, you gotta have faith.
I don't know why he's...
body.
Is he distracting the robots or something? Because they just stand around like it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
That
really whole thing
weird.
was pointless.
It was.
I think you're right.
It restarted his career. That had a purpose. Yeah. But it's just not for the movie.
Universe.
Yeah, in the real world, it had a purpose. I don't know. It was funny. He played himself well.
I liked him in that. It was fun. It was funny.
It was good to see him be, and he's not the worst actor either.
He was good.
He just had to be himself. So.
I didn't realize he had a southern accent.
Yeah, it's there a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah, that was
but
weird.
Some of the, I don't know, when you see him in the hall and it's dark and he's like, are you alone or did anyone follow you or whatever? You're
Holy fuck, it's Fred Durst.
I didn't know that he was even going to be in this.
I don't
Did you
remember.
Read about it or
I kind of knew because I saw a YouTube video of Fred Durst and Kyle Mooney on Hot Ones.
Oh, sure.
I didn't watch the video, but I saw it. I was like, huh, it must be
There's
promoting
something
it
going
or something.
There. Yeah, for sure.
So,
wow. Well, I would say, I don't know. I gave it a 6. I almost gave it a fucking 5, guys. That's how much I
gave it a 7. I almost gave it a 6. Like I said, there's a lot of fun things happening. There's a few periods where there's too long of an area where nothing happens, and you're just like, they're just whining and being little bitches.
They're being dicks to each other.
Oh, and just little bitches. They're just like, oh no, my feelings.
Or just even if it's like a bonding moment, like, oh yeah, this is the the two
this
rappers.
Is the first place that I ever
smoke weed. Really? Because and then they talk about whatever, but the whole time they're talking, you think they're supposed to be bonding, but they're actually shitting on each other.
Yeah.
That's how they bond, by shitting. I mean,
because they're MCs.
Yeah. But what the fuck?
I don't know. That was fine. I wouldn't. Oh man, I hate to say it. I don't, because I want Kyle Mooney's. Because I really like his sense of humor.
Yeah, but make a good movie.
I know. I'm just saying. I can't recommend that people go see this. I would stream it. Because this
would be a lot of fun streaming.
There is a lot of good. Good parts.
But that's because you already paid for it when you're streaming.
Yeah.
Paying for it at a theater for a theater experience. Yeah. You don't need the big screen to enjoy this movie.
No.
Period.
In fact, there's a lot of cinematography stuff that didn't work. A lot of pan shots.
Yeah.
You couldn't. It was weird. It was like they did it in 25 frames per second film.
It kind of looked gross. Yeah.
Yeah, and I couldn't even if they're panning by something. Like a big flyer, you can't even read it.
You can't read it because it's all blurry. They got that's an issue with big theater screens anyway. Is the panning effect on a lot of movies where it's just blurry until it stops.
Yeah,
you can't. And I hate that.
But sometimes
where's the 4K?
It's not like that, but
yeah, sometimes it depends on the film, but in the theater. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I guess stream it. Take a look at it, support it, because it's a funny movie. It's fun. If you like that,
we're literally telling them not to support it.
We can't at home.
Okay,
at home.
I'll say we can't
stream it. So, but
we can't recommend.
Don't go to the. I wouldn't go to the theater for it, but it is a worthy watch. Especially, it almost had the 1980s chopping mall levels of humor. I don't know if you remember that movie.
Not really.
It's about whatever. But and some of you guys might know, probably not. But it's an obscure. But it had a weird sense of humor of the 80s with machines attacking, and they're just. But with the 90s spin.
This had that one syndrome of the slasher predictability meter being
for sure.
We're every single person that's an asshole dies.
Oh yeah, we were even commenting on it. He's the biggest dick. Well, he'll probably
die,
1 or 2 in order.
And they just died immediately. As soon as you're oh, he's a dick, bam, his head gets.
Yeah. I was hoping that they would just be picked up one by one and trapped and terrified, but they just oh shit, oops.
Yep.
Game over.
Just over.
Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, bang the bell. If you do go see us, let us let us know if you think it's as low of a rating as we think it, or if you stream it, let us know.
I want to figure out who Dick Blender guy is. He's going places.
Oh, dude. The look on his face
his dick's being blended up.
Oscar worthy. All right, enough said, guys. We'll catch you in another Vertical Slice.